Hi, welcome to Fortinet Training Institute. My name is CJ. Today, I'm going to share with you what is covered in the FortiSIEM Basic Fundamental Training. In this video, I will be sharing what we teach in this training and highlight some of the key topics. I will be sharing the agenda and what we cover each day, including what are the hands-on lab exercises that you will be working on. But first, let me show you one of the many features of FortiSIEM, which is the ability of FortiSIEM to display real-time threats reported by a FortiGate or any other devices that are configured to send logs to FortiSIEM. Let's start by looking at the FortiSIEM Configuration and Management Database, the CMDB page for registered devices. Here, as you can see, FortiGate is not registered with FortiSIEM yet. This is because we have not configured FortiGate to send logs to FortiSIEM or configure FortiSIEM to discover FortiGate. In the next slide, I will show you the configuration of a FortiGate. To configure a FortiGate to send logs to FortiSIEM, the configuration is pretty straightforward. Simply go to Log and Report, Log Settings, and in the Send Log to syslog field, enter the IP address of the FortiSIEM. After this is done, we can go back to FortiSIEM to check on the FortiSIEM CMDB. Now back to the FortiSIEM and back to the CMDB tab. We can now see the FortiGate. FortiSIEM learned the FortiGate through the syslog settings. And we can see this under the method column, that indeed FortiSIEM recognizes the FortiGate through the method which we call logging. Notice FortiSIEM is smart enough to tell us that it has seen a FortiGate as a firewall. In fact, it is also clever enough to place discovered devices into their respective category as well. And you will see this in the training, in the lab exercises. Devices such as Cisco ASA, Aruba APs, Windows Server, Juniper routers, just to name a few. Next, let us generate some malicious logs on the FortiGate and see how FortiSIEM treat those logs. On the FortiGate, we have a command to simulate some malicious activities. The command will generate simulated malicious activities, which are translated to logs and sent to the syslog server, the FortiSIEM. As can be seen from the output here, there are malicious activities such as botnet, virus, IPS, and the rest. On the FortiSIEM, I have a screen capture on before I execute the command on the FortiGate. And as you can see, there is no events or incidents recorded yet. And after I executed the command on the FortiGate, the logs can be seen real time. And in the MITRE ATT&CK tab, we can clearly see the mapping of the threats to the MITRE ATT&CK TTP framework. If we go on to the Overview tab, we can see colored notification of those incidents. From here, a SecOps administrator can easily visualize what needs to be investigated and go on to mitigate and resolve the issue by referencing the MITRE TTP framework. With that, let me go on to the next slide to describe what we cover in this training. This is a basic fundamental FortiSIEM training. It provides the foundation necessary to operate the FortiSIEM. If you need to advance further, we do have an advanced FortiSIEM training, which is also 3 days. And if you are into custom parser, we have another 2 days of the training. This training has 11 lessons, all module. Each day we will cover about 4 lessons, which come with corresponding hands-on lab exercises as well. We will start with an introduction to SIEM and FortiSIEM. We will talk about what is a SIEM, what is Gartner's definition of a SIEM, how does FortiSIEM match up to Gartner's standard of a SIEM. Then we will move on to the architecture of FortiSIEM and an overview of all the features available in FortiSIEM. We will also talk about concepts of the importance of logs and how FortiSIEM process those logs with some examples. We will then move on to the discovery process and discuss the deployment of FortiSIEM agent. From lesson 4 to lesson 9, we will be using the tools or utilities provided by FortiSIEM to query the database, to group the database. And in lesson 7, we will work on the rules. We will create rules and associate the rules to the micro attack TTP framework. In the last 2 lessons, we will discuss the maintenance of FortiSIEM database, how we can fine-tune, and also on troubleshooting. There are also 11 hands-on lab exercises to correspond to each of the lesson, as I mentioned earlier on. Let me just highlight a few things here. In some of the labs, we have what we call the expert challenge. The expert challenge is about giving you a scenario to work through by using the skills and knowledge that we have practiced earlier on and to work on real-life example. In lesson 8, as you can see, we also have an exercise to use the built-in ticketing system of FortiSIEM. And in exercise 4, we will learn to create custom email template. In lab 11, which is our troubleshooting lab, we have 2 exercises to troubleshoot a discovery situation. And the second exercise is on troubleshooting the pooling of configuration of the networking devices. Let me share with you some of the contents of this training. This slide is an example in the introduction lesson where we will be looking at FortiSIEM architecture and deployment examples. We will start with the most basic deployment and talk about the components of a FortiSIEM, such as the supervisor and its databases. Then we will move on to look at other architecture, such as the multi-tenanted environment deployment, and discuss how we could scale FortiSIEM by deploying workers and collectors at the customer site. This slide walks us through the background process of the FortiSIEM, like how it received the various logs and how the logs are processed. Here is an example of the process. The process of taking raw input, extract the information from the individual fields, and map them to what we call the FortiSIEM database schema. One of the key functions of a SIEM is to trigger an event when it receives an unusual event. FortiSIEM has an advanced analytical rules engine that watches events and triggers incidents on the dashboard if the specific conditions are satisfied. We will learn to build the rules using the three-step wizard process. We also have a section on an introduction to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. We will look at the MITRE techniques and sub-techniques numbering system, and we will explore the MITRE ATT&CK framework on the FortiSIEM. So those are just some of the brief highlights. You can imagine what more you can learn in a full 3 days training. Besides FortiSIEM, there are many more training that you can take to increase your skills and knowledge in cybersecurity using Fortinet products and solutions. Here are our certification training courses from our flagship FortiGate, FortiManager, FortiAnalyzer, to solutions-oriented training such as the SD-WAN, FortiSASE, OT, Public Cloud Security certification. And by the way, we do have custom training as well. Hope this short video is helpful in giving you an idea of what we teach in this training and what you will learn. The schedules can be found here, or simply scan the QR code. You can also email to APAC training, email training, or training@fortinet.com, depending on where you are located and where you would like to have the training. Thank you and have a good day. Goodbye.